New York, and on the new Hot 97 app. Ebro in the morning on Hot 97.
Ebro in the morning, Laura Styles, Rosenberg. Just got words trending all over social media. Everybody's talking. Lil Peep has overdosed. It's confirmed.
Yeah.
An artist I'd recently just heard about. Gotta say, a couple weeks ago. Never even heard his music. Rosenberg, you just played me like 30 seconds. Definitely not a rapper. Like more of a rock, like a singing rock. Like an Incubus,
I think
Nirvana.
Incubus, Linkin Park, not Nirvana. See, Nirvana's more rock to me.
Yeah.
But that Linkin Park, Incubus.
So it has some hip hop elements.
Yeah, and he's part of the hip hop world, right? Like down with a lot of people. But I really didn't know anything about the guy, and talked to my brother who was like, "Yo, this guy Lil Peep, 21 years old when he passed away," and he said he was really a guy who a lot of people thought was going to be
The record
huge
you
for the next generation.
The record you just played me is fire.
Like understood melody, like really musically.
But I gotta say, man, I gotta say, sad day. Didn't know much about the kid, but I honestly, this is an indictment of our society right now.
We were watching videos of, I guess it's the last videos that he put out, Ebro, and it's just him just zonked out on the couch, just dropping like pills in his mouth.
Popping pills.
And it's like,
and we're all, you know, we're all
gonna stop.
Is the word complicit? We're all complicit. Every song we play, every artist out there that thinks it's cool to just act like all you do all day is get high and pop pills. Every pharmaceutical company, every pharmacist that does backdoor deals and lets these pills flood the streets. Because you know the people who aren't going to be held accountable, the pharmaceutical company that makes Xanax, not going to be held accountable.
No.
The government officials who allow these pharmaceutical drugs to flood the streets the way they have, not going to be held accountable. The people, the legislation that passed and allowed back. Remember, I'm old enough to remember they didn't allow those pharmaceutical commercials on television.
Really?
I'm old enough to remember you didn't see drug commercials on TV.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
But now the
That wasn't a
commercials
thing.
are just people putting in their personal videos on YouTube and Instagram.
Well, then
But there's
have
also
the music.
commercials.
But it became normalized first by the commercials. When you stay up late and watch any channel, what comes on? You know, my eyebrows aren't right. Take a pill. My weight problem. My that. My everything is fix your life with a pill. And so I think we have a 20-year-old kid now who was about to be somebody big in music, making great music. I never really got into his music, just learned about him. But the music I'm hearing sounds incredible. Lil Peep. Now he's overdosed. And are we just gonna continue to look at each other like we don't have a fucking problem?
Well, I don't know. It's hard to know exactly what to do. I think we sit with artists a lot, and maybe it's our duty to kind of press them more on like, so you think what's up with how making pills sound cool to kids? Like, why are you doing that?
I mean, it's not like we don't have these conversations.
I know,
when
but we should be more
Q
direct.
was here, and he was like, remember when he was talking about really open about
Schoolboy
lean?
Q, French Montana. Who else has been up here? Chris Brown's been up here. And by the way, a lot of these people have mental health disorders and they're self-medicating. So like to your point, Rosenberg, I could sit across somebody and be like, yo, press them about what they're doing to self-medicate, to get high, because people get high in all types of ways. Sometimes it's alcohol, sometimes it's pills, sometimes it's things that are more harsh than that, right? But are we going to start sitting up here now and telling people they need to go see a therapist and get mental health? Like, how far are we going to take this?
I know.
Because Little Peep is the figure that's trending today. But we all know in our country right now, we have an opioid crisis. We have a pill problem. And beyond that, for people who can't get the pills, they're straight up shooting heroin. And we also know Afghanistan's the place where like 90% of the opium poppy comes from. And we're over there doing our business over there. Like, it's deep.
Well, here's the part. We can't get to that part, right? Not to sound defeatist, but in terms of what we're capable of doing, we can talk about it, but we can't make a major impact on what shady business is happening in Afghanistan. What I think we can do, though, is hold the people in our community accountable for the Molly Percocet talk and all that stuff. I really think we can say, and also listen to these rappers, some of which we're friends with and we care about. If you want to kill yourself, I am not for it. I am against it. I don't think you should be popping pills. But it's your choice. What you really shouldn't do is not even give these kids who look up to you at 15 years old the option to enjoy music without being inundated with the promotion of drug use. Because they don't even, these kids now, they're coming up, every artist they look up to, lean, pills. The lean seems like it's more on the fade, and now it's all the pills. But it's awful. And maybe this Lil Peep passing, maybe he was so, we don't know, we're removed, right?
Guys,
Maybe he was so iconic to these kids that it'll make an impact.
All right, but we saw it with A$AP Yams. We
Fact.
saw
Oh,
it
with
with
Pimp
A$AP
C.
Yams.
Pimp C too.
Yes.
But Yams is an icon. It's true. Yams is a total icon. And I told you guys, I went to Yams Day a couple years ago, and there were cats doing lean and pills at Yams Day. And I'm like, do you not get...
That's how he died.
That's how he died. That's why we're here. That's why this happened. And now here we are with Lil Peep again. He was on video, just popping pills. I'm ultimately toying with death. You know, I don't know if he was very depressed and wanted to die. I don't gather that. So it's just an awful, sad situation.
And let's also provide context, because toying with death, Biggie ready to die, right? And artists overdosing from all formats of music,
Yeah.
right? Is not new.
No, not at all.
Not at all. So we're not gonna act like Lil Peep is the first time or the last time this is gonna happen. But I think what we wanted to do was have an honest dialogue about the reality of what we're seeing right this moment in our society. And how many young people that pay attention to our program, and we're complicit, like I said before, with the records that we play. I know I pulled Future Mask off. I was like, look, I like Future Mask off in the club, and maybe it's good for like 10 o'clock at night, but 8 o'clock in the morning, even though they took the Molly Perk set, represent shit, whatever they replaced in the song, I was like, people already know the original version of the song. You know what I'm saying?
So what else is the other thing? I'm sure we're playing other ones like that right now too.
I mean, we could go through it. I don't have a problem with it, because I don't really think, I think it's a lot of the internet records more than it is the records that make it to primetime day parts. But it's in there. It's in there. And I know that there's a lot of editing that goes on. People take lyrics out of songs, et cetera, et cetera. But, you know, it is going to take a united effort if we're trying to, you know, set a tone.
Well, sometimes the catalyst for those efforts can be someone of real potential being lost, you know? And again, we don't know. I think it's hard for us to understand the way Lil Peep impacted people, but maybe he really impacted people to a point that it
We hope. And we
changes
also,
people.
and in this effort too of kids getting high, experimenting with drugs or whatever it is, that's not new. That's not going to go away. But we also can't remove how some of these young people are feeling with what they're being inundated with, whether that's through racism and politics and world issues and, you know, their expectation of what life is supposed to be like, or their parents, or what's going on in their, like, there's a lot of shit out there. It's a lot of shit. And some of these kids are just trying to figure out ways to cope, and they don't have the tools and the resources to do so. So they turn to their friends and this music and these pills, or however they are getting high, which is what kids have always done, and adults as well. But I wanted to say we have an issue as a society. Lil Peep is just, you know, one of the symptoms of our total sickness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we have a big fucking issue thinking that pills are going to fix all the problems that we have, and they're not. And unless we start confronting them head on and having real dialogue about them, we're going to continue to see young people die.
I couldn't agree with you more. And just a little extra sad note on Peep. I didn't know. He's from Long Beach, Long Island. Which I did not realize. And I was just watching this interview with him, and he got the name Lil Peep because it was like, it literally choked me up just to hear him say it. Because he's a kid, he's a baby, he's 21 years old. His mom called him Peep. His whole life, she was like, "Oh, you're Peep. He's Peep." That was his nickname, was Peep. So all his friends called, like, it's like your little cute,
Peep,
probably
yeah.
from being a little baby, she called him Peep. And that's what everyone called him, and he had all this potential. She released a statement saying that she's incredibly proud of what he accomplished in his short life, but shouldn't have been that short.